I'm excited, okay? I'm freaking excited about that new podcast. But first thing first, welcome to Hold On, My Baguette. Maybe you will not understand what I'm saying right now because you're like, oat, it's not a baguette. Because maybe for you, a baguette is bread. And technically it is. That is bread also. But, and that's how I'm gonna explain the name of the podcast and then just introduce myself, I guess, and just start talking for a long time because that what I like to do on the internet since I'm 10 and I'm 26 now, so it's been a freaking long time. I'm gonna give you 10 seconds to, I was gonna say guess my age, but I just told you it was 26. Okay, let's do this again. I'm gonna give you 5 seconds to try estimate my age if I haven't told you that before. Just like look at my face. Because everyone is like, oh, you look so young. You don't do your age. And okay, but what age am I looking? But second question is, where do you think I'm from? Okay, great. You had the 5 seconds. Now I'm gonna tell you. I'm French. Hence the name, Hold My Baguette. In French, a baguette is bread. Fair enough, I think you got that one. But it's also the name of a magic wand, hence the microphone. I mean, the microphone is, well, it's just a black part, but you know, it's way more aesthetic this way. In France, we sing, I don't know, like baguette magique, which is just like magic wand from, like, I don't know, fairies or whatever you're watching, whatever is your thing. Am I gonna talk about magic or fairy here? Probably not. But it's just like, I like to think and I like to consider myself as a funny person. And I needed like some sort of pun in the title of my podcast. Hi, my name is Aude and this is the first episode of my new podcast. And this tiny dog is called Jean-Philippe. For whatever reason, I don't know, but I like the name. Oh my god. Now that we have mentioned the name of the podcast and that it's not related to bread, let's dive in bread actually, because I just want to tell and just, I don't know, speak about bread for 5 seconds because that's something that I really care about. And I have to say I'm French, okay, but I'm vegan, so I'm not the cliche of like, I love this proper meat and the cheese and everything, but the breads, I can fight for breads. I have bread every day. I love it. The tiny thing I wanted to mention is currently I'm not living in France, hence the fact that I want to have another podcast in English because yeah, I do have, I don't know, another one in French for 5 years actually. I'm not living in France and that is not the first time actually. I lived in England for 1.5 years in Bournemouth, mind you, as well as Rugby. I don't think anyone got that name. And now I'm in Berlin. Why I'm telling you this? It's hard to find good bread. And that's something I have to mention. But you know what? It's fine. Like now that I'm comparing me living in England and me living in Berlin, it's way easier to find bread here. Might be because we're closer to Germany than we are from England. They don't have bakery outside. I mean, there's like a few, but it's not bakery in France. You won't have a baguette usually. You have to go in a special shop. And we do have special shop. That is completely fine. We are actually a lot of French. So just in the area I'm living, there's like at least 2 French restaurants, something for wine and just anything like that. Probably I can find some baguette here for a very expensive price. Outside of that, we don't have nice baguettes. That's just the boring one. But I have to say it's so much better than when I was living in England. England, it was awful. Like literally the bread there. And just food. Just food in general. Maybe I did like the pastry from Greg's, but it's not even pastry, it's just like the sausage roll, the vegan one, because it was not expensive at all. It was like £1, I think. It wasn't great. Anyway, I'm just closing the topic of bread to go back to the subject of the podcast because, hey, you don't know me, I don't know you, we have to talk. We have to get to know each other, you know? Second point, I have to think about that and I've got to put myself in the spirit because right now for you, it's the 1st of January 2026. So happy new year. Congrats to making to a new year. I really hope it's gonna be a nice year for you. But it just for me, we're still in November. So that's me from the past talking, but I have to say it. Happy New Year. Can I say it now? I don't know, but it's gonna be on the right time for you. Just get back to the point. New Year's, 1st of a new month. I love it. Anything that is a new start, Monday, new month, a new freaking moon. I don't know, I don't really know that shit, but you know, a new season. I love it. It's like a whole new 12 months just for you, just to start again. I don't know what you're gonna start again because at some point when you're an adult, you're not gonna start everything over and over again. I might have to do that in the past because I just change everything about my life every few months, which is fine. And that is also the part of me having so many things to say, especially online. That is sometimes a problem because I'm speaking to people and I don't know these strangers. And then I'm like, oh, I do have a podcast here. Just take the card. This is a QR code. Next time I'm seeing this person, I could have listened to the most intimate things I said online and I just forgot about it. And I'm just like, oh, so it's not even anymore. But what about this new year? I would love to say that I'm a big vision board girly and I made this, I don't know, long list of goals and new resolution and just everything. But the fact about me is I'm not patient. I'm not patient at all. I will give you an example later on how I'm more on the anxiety and freak-ish side and control freak one later on. But just so you have an idea, we are for me it's November, okay? I didn't want to wait a new year to just start again and have new goals. So I just made my whole new vision board and everything now. I don't know if it's just for having a fresh start, but just a heads up. So by the time it's actually 2026 for me, I will be like, oh, I'm good. And I will feel great about myself. But would it be not chilling? If you're still here, thank you. That's not a sign for thank you, I don't know. If you're still here listening to me, thank you. What are we gonna talk about here in this nice podcast? I need to keep the microphone next to me, please. I don't really know. I mean, it's not like I've got one topic. I've got this long list, very long list of things I want to talk about. And this episode will be a bit different from that because what I want is having one big topic per episode. And I know, like next week, next Thursday, it's gonna be smut. I need you to keep up with me, okay? Next week, it's gonna be about how the problem with smut, which is, if you don't know, just sex scenes in books. Basically, like if you want to just have a very basic description, that's thing you got in a lot of famous one now, like A Court of Thorn of Roses, Fourth Ring and all that. This is like so many video online. Oh, book talk ruined everything. Oh, but is smut even good? Oh, is it not bad to read smut for women and blah blah blah. My issue with that is smut and how bad it is, how it's gonna change your brain and how it's not really reading. It's always related to what women are reading, not people in general, not men. just woman. I've got a lot to say and it's gonna be next week. I didn't want to start a podcast with a big topic like that and without any context. I had to do a first episode when I can introduce myself, talk about random thing. And that's what I'm gonna do. I've got this list of random thoughts I had lately that I want to talk about online for whatever reason. Maybe because I'm not going as often as I should to my therapist. I don't know, maybe it might be a point. This podcast won't be always so rumbling-ish. It might be, especially the outro or intro. I don't know. I will speak about my life at some point, but there will be subject I will focus on. Two other points of why I'm doing this, and I mean the podcast in English, because as I mentioned, I got a podcast in French. It's because one, I'm living in Berlin and everything here is in English or German, and obviously I'm not gonna do anything in German because I'm still trying to figure out the German part of my life. Also the main point, I just speak English most days here because roommates, colleagues, customers, and everything, and because I just consume English medias and videos, TV shows every day of my life. But I feel like I'm missing something. And by that I mean I want to be able to argue in English, and I want to be like, I can make some sort of essay video on a topic. I just got an extract of Little Woman in my head. Anyway, we love Little Woman, that's not the point, but I think if I do have a podcast in English and I'm making research and I'm just thinking a bit more deeper about topics that I'm interested in, it will help for me to structure better sentences, maybe develop a bit more of my thinking. I don't know, I want to feel like I'm a clever girl and be like, hey, I'm doing clever shit on my podcast, but it might not be just clever shits. It might be just me telling you random stuff about my life, which is fine. We can be a girls, it's not related. And being clever, that's not two different things. That's fine. Who am I? Because I mean, it's been minutes that I'm talking and you don't know anything about me. Do you want to? Please. I mean, I'm gonna tell you my life either way, so you better want to share stuff with me and get to know me, because hey, we're both here, so you might enjoy it. That would be better. Also, why I'm reading my notes when I just need to introduce myself and I do know myself? Because I get distracted very easily and I might just switch to another subject if I'm not looking at the notes. As I said, I'm French. I'm 26 and I'm living in Berlin. That is the most short description you might have of me. I might try to develop that. I've got a job. Good job. Thank you. Clap for me. I've got like a part-time job. I love the people. I don't have to speak German. I mean, I'm trying, but I don't have to. I do have money and I've got time to make other things in my life, such as this nice and lovely podcast. The two things I think are like my go-to, and if you ask every person that gets to know me or just my roommates that are seeing my face every day of their life. One, peanut butter. Every day. Breakfast, snacks, sometime in my lunch or dinner. I love it. And I might do an episode on that because I just love all the differences of peanut butter, all the brands, and just comparing between the UK, Berlin, in France, and just everything. And the second thing is iced coffee. I would love to say that I love coffee just for me. And that's something I grew up with, and it's like that. The real reason is because I started watching Gilmore Girls, and that Lorelai, mostly Lorelai, but Rory as well, was addicted to caffeine, drinking that every hours of the day. So it was years ago. I think in 2017 I watched a lot of Emma Chamberlain videos, and that was when she was, I think, starting to get very popular online. She was just like having iced coffee, maybe 3 to 4 per video. I just got influenced and I wanted to try it and like it because I just really love these people. So I was like, they look so cool drinking coffee. I'm gonna do the same. And here I am. Now I'm also making coffee. I'm like a barista. That's nice. Like I'm literally making coffee for people. I mean, I'm still in training, so it's not perfect. But I think it's so fun. Like I'm living when you're reading a book, like the Christmas one or a romance, and it's like a small town, and the lady, she's just like, I'm working in my coffee shop and I'm selling the cupcakes to my nice customers. I feel like that. I'm just making my tiny, cutie coffees and matchas too. And I guess last big thing about me right now, right this minute, because it's still new, is I'm trying. Maybe you don't see it, maybe you don't get it, but if I'm trying to show you, because it's a video, so if you're just listening to the podcast without a video, please join on YouTube, on Spotify or whatever, but the video is here. The video is good, and I had so many trouble trying to do something nice for not the plot but just the decor. So my arms are pretty thin, right? I don't really have any muscles in my body, which for I guess a long time wasn't a problem for me. I was fine with it because why would I need to carry anything? I'm tired of being so weak, and just at work I do have to carry a few stuff when I'm closing a shop, which fine, it's part of the job, but it's just like when I'm seeing people looking like me, like women as thin as me, and they can carry the thing, and I'm like, what do you mean? I want to be strong and independent, and I was at the point where I had to ask people to open my peanut butter jar because I wasn't strong enough to open that. So I'm just trying to build some muscles and stability, flexibility, because also at the nice age of 26, I started having trouble with my hips. Currently, I'm not able to sit cross-legged. I cannot show you, but this one can do that. The right one, no way. And it's not really a problem because I went to a doctor at some point, even if I don't like it. And they were just like, oh, just work on it. Do like stretching and flexibility exercises and stuff. And I was okay. I'm now going to yoga and Pilates, kickboxing. I don't know if kickboxing is gonna help much, but I'm going a lot to anything that allow me to move my body. Usually I'm working 3 days per week, so that's 3 days where I'm standing, moving, but not that much. And the other 4 days in my week, I'm mostly here, recording podcasts, editing videos, so I'm just like sitting behind my laptop. So again, I'm not moving that much. So I'm trying to go like 4 to 5 times per week. And it's actually not that expensive because I got a subscription from work, and that's the main things: peanut butter, coffee, and sports. And obviously talking a lot about so many things. I love talking, but I love also to study people and understand why people are doing this or why they are thinking that. Now that you know more things about me, let's get into my thoughts. Keep in mind that some stuff are a bit more trendy, and that is trendy for me at the minute, but it won't probably be that trendy for you. But it's still a nice and relevant topic to talk about. The first thing I want to mention is the article on Vogue, the one everyone was talking about, called "Is it embarrassing now to have a boyfriend?" I like the name. I discovered the article on TikTok. I don't know if it's a good thing or not. I don't have too many things to add because I will try to put some links on the bio or description, but there's so many good videos about this article and what it means, how it's more than than just being like, oh, it's embarrassing now to have a boyfriend. I just read on Reddit and no one really mentioned it in the video, so I think it's nice to mention this and think about it. Also, the main thing with this article is I don't think there was like any sources. She used a few numbers about how if someone was posting their boyfriend online, they will lose subscriber, for example, and all these just stories about how before it was so cool to have a boyfriend and how on social you would like seeing the boyfriend everywhere like an accessories. You would just like, I've got a boyfriend, and you should know that is so important to show around, to be accepted and to be cool and to be my life is perfect and I'm so successful because I do have a boyfriend or a husband. But now you're hiding that. You're doing the soft launch and you're just not putting their faces online. One of the points about, because she was on that point, I think, when she was like, oh, and this influencer just posts their boyfriend and they lose followers. That was a public figure. That was an influencer, and that is not related to the boyfriend per se. She's a woman and she's public, so she's gonna have, like any other celebrities, a lot of men just following her on Instagram being like, oh, I like how you look and I like the fact that you are posting things online and that you are single. If at any point this same person is showing that she's not single anymore, men, especially men, just gonna unfollow her because they don't have anything more to get because that woman now is not available. And yes, I know she's a celebrity, so the chances for any man in the following part to get her, and I think that's the main reason also why people lose followers, because it just, you have this idea of someone. And so it's either just physical for men, or maybe you're just a woman, you follow her and you're like, oh, I like her because she's single, because she's strong. And this idea of being independent, and then she got a boyfriend and you're like, oh, I don't like the vibe anymore. And it's just so fun to see how one article on Vogue just went so viral, being so short and without any too much sources, too many deep dive into the subject, but that so many women especially did so diving, turned this into a very interesting topic online. And one thing I haven't done right now but I would love to is, there's like a few videos about this subject done by men. I'm not a big fan of having men's opinion, but I would love to see how they react to that. On that same note, I had like another thought. Is it worth it to speak about something trendy? I was thinking about doing a whole episode on that article. I saw so many videos and I was, oh shit, everyone talk about this already. I came to the conclusion that by the time I'm like recording and doing the podcast, it will be not trendy anymore and people will get tired of it. I was like sitting and I was, okay, so does that mean that because something is trendy or everyone is talking about the same topic, I'm like magically not worthy of talking about this same subject? Why would I change the thing I want to talk about because everyone is speaking about it? I don't have the answers. I think it's just like, I do have the answers. I lied. It's just in my mind. It was like that. So before, I do have also a YouTube channel in French and English, whatever. I was speaking a lot about books. If I was, okay, I like this book, I'm gonna talk about it. And in between, someone I considered more or less like me online would publish a video about that book. I would be like, oh, there's no way I'm gonna do the same because this person said everything about the book in a better way that I could have done. And maybe it's true, maybe it's not, but it's so stupid because even if we got the same subject, the same topic, we are not the same person. We're not gonna think about the same thing, and we're gonna all have our own angle on the subjects. And that's the thing, that's also why when you have a look on YouTube, there's so many creators, there's so many on the same category. I don't even want to know the numbers of beauty influencer or gamer. For every new person, there's still like a new public. I can't do this first episode without mentioning you, and I talk about this at the start of the podcast, but without me having a mental breakdown. I'm on a journey to get better and work on myself, insert sparkles. But obviously, all the work I'm trying to do and trying to take a step back about my thoughts and how I'm just living my life is based on me, again, being a tiny bit of a control freak, having fears about stuff. And one of them is papers, administration, anything related to that. At some point, I had to do an invoice for someone. It's not that hard. I got a template on my laptop. I've got everything. And I don't know, it wasn't that hard. And mid writing the invoice, I just started crying. I was like, oh, you're fucking 26. We cannot, we can, that's fine. We're all about our feelings and feeling, but it's just one task. Why are you so stressed about life? Can you just chill the fuck out? And on that note, I do have another example that happens maybe 2 days ago. Maybe you don't have the vision, and I hope you don't. I'm recording this, so I've got my camera, my tripods, so the sofa, the lights, and this. All of this, apart from the sofa, is new. I'm working a lot on this podcast, the idea and what I want to do with it. So when I did the order online of the light and the microphone and the magic wand and everything, I was like, okay, I'm gonna plan everything so it could arrive Thursday. Thursday was a day I wasn't working, which was no coincidence. It was meant to be Thursday, so I could be here and have the parcels and be like, okay, I have everything on Thursday, I can start filming on Friday. Perfect. I like that. I like being organized, and I like the control, the fucking control of if something is planned like that in my life, it has to be that way. No change. Please, no. What happened was one of the package, the one with the microphone, so the big thing, everything is for the podcast. So of course, the microphone was the thing I was waiting the most. So when I had this message being like, oh, the microphone is gonna be here on Wednesday, I was like, okay, well, that wasn't planned, but I'm not working on Wednesday, so perfect, I'm gonna wait. The only thing I had on Wednesday was going to the dentist, which was another mental breakdown. We're gonna talk about this, that's fine. I was like, okay, that's fine. I'm living with 6 other people, so I just told one of my roommates who's working from home, I'm not here from 2 to 3 p.m., so if anyone is ringing, that's for me. Could you open? Could you take the package, please? Thank you very much. I did everything in my power to be here and do the right thing and have my package. And then, because I was having this slot on the website saying it would be between 1 and 2 p.m., I was going out for the dentist and I just got a message being like, your parcel just got delivered. I was in my flat 5 minutes ago. No one did anything. No one was ringing, no one was knocking, and my roommate was here. So in any way I didn't hear anything, she was here as well, and she didn't hear anything. So I was, okay, well, maybe it just got in another place, so I can go get the package. Read the message, and they were like, oh, we gave your parcel to your neighbor. My neighbor, what do you mean? And at that point, it's been like 10 minutes. It's been 10 minutes. In my head, I'm going like, if the neighbor was here to receive my package 10 minutes ago, if I knock right now, I'm gonna have my package. That is fine. I did it. He didn't reply. At that point, I had to go to the dentist. I went back, knocked again, didn't reply. And I just started getting so frustrated about life and everything, which was not making any sense. But in my head, my day was destroyed. Everything was awful. And I had this conversation with my roommate being like, oh my god, my parcel, it's not here. And I have no clue when I'm gonna get it. And it's a microphone, it's expensive, I don't know this neighbor. And she was like, girl, the parcel is literally in our building. The person just went to work. You're gonna have it tonight at some point, that's fine. And I just look at her and I was, how can you be so calm? How can you be just so chill about life? When I was literally having a mental breakdown over this parcel. And guess what? I had my shower around 6 or 7. During that time, someone knocked on the door. My roommate was here. She took the package and I got it exactly after his working day. No reason to panic. Anyway, so now the dentist. First thing I want to say, if any of the 2 guys I talk with are watching this, I do apologize. I was on my way to the dentist, which was a total of 1 minute walk. It's really close to my flat. And these 2 boys started talking to me in German. So one thing, I'm like, I don't get it. And they didn't really get that I wasn't understanding anything. So I had to do the best thing I could and form some sort of German sentence to be like, I don't speak German, which is something I can say. Of course, they just switched to English, and I was, oh shit, they do speak English. And I just started to get angry because 1, the parcel, 2, I was late to the dentist, and 3, because the place they tried to talk to me was literally in front of the building with all the bells, the rings and stuff, and you could see it's like the place with dentists, doctors. So obviously, if I'm trying to ring something, it's mostly because I do have an appointment or I'm working here or whatever. So you do know, I don't have time. And I just told you before in a not nice way that I don't speak German. So obviously I'm not in the mood. I don't have time. And you're still like trying to talk to me. I just started speaking badly. They were just like, oh, you want to get in the building? We can help you. Where do you want to go? And they just switched being nice people. And I was like, oh my god, I feel so bad. Like, I'm so sorry, guys. I had no reason to talk to you like this. I could have just been like, sorry, I'm just busy or whatever. And yeah, so they helped me getting to the dentist. So thank you and sorry. Dentist, not a good time. Who likes the dentist? And we arrive at the last 2 points. First is music. Right now we do have so many good music coming out. We just got the new album of 5 Seconds of Summer, and I listen to this every single day. I love it. And I would love to say that I listened to them for ages, and it's not the case. It's not the case. I was a big fan of One Direction, and I know they just appear at more or less the same time, but I never really listened to them. But right now, I really enjoy their new album. We got a new song, 2 or 3 songs, I don't remember. But at least 2 new songs from Louis Tomlinson of One Direction. So obviously I'm just like going crazy. I love this man. We got our tickets with my friend to go see him. We just, I love it. And lastly, this morning we got the deluxe extended version of Tate McRae album, and I love this woman. She's a woman, you know, she's breathing, that's fine. Music wise, I'm gonna share on the screen a few songs that I really like because I don't remember all the names, I don't remember everything because that's how my brain is working / not working. I woke up so many Fridays lately being like, I know we're gonna have good songs now on Spotify or any other streaming platform. And the last point, which might be a cliffhanger to be convinced to subscribe to the podcast, to leave a comment or just share it around you to, one, help me, but two, to see how my haircut is gonna be. I'm not a crazy person regarding haircuts. I just did a really big change in 2018, and after that I just got every 2 months the same bob with the same length, and my hair are growing so fast, and every time, right on time, 2 months after, I'm like, I need to cut my hair again. I'm so sick of it. And now it's time. I'm so sick of it. I just want to chop everything, and I'm gonna do it myself. That is exactly what I did in September with the help of my roommates, obviously. And I'm gonna do this again. I thought of doing that before recording this first episode, but I need some change of face between the first and the second one. So, if you want to see, and I will try to film and record just a bit of me chopping my hair because that's fun, and put the extract in the next episode, If you want to see that, keep up with the podcast, get a bit more news and thoughts about my life, and the big next subject, which I remind you will be reading smut. Is it really bad for you, or are you just a woman, in the world and people don't like you? In the meantime, if you want to have any news updates and you want to have some sort of connection with me, I do have TikTok and Instagram for the podcast. I will see you next Thursday, and I hope that this first episode was great and you like it. Do something in the comment. Just give me your opinion, your honest opinion, please. That's it for me. I will see you next week. Bye!